Labour's plan to nationalise the railways in the event that it obtains power is featured in many of the papers. According to the Daily, the party pledges to, immediately, begin the process of returning ownership of the rail system to the people. A best price ticket guarantee and digital season tickets are among the plans, according to the However, the article claims that it might take years until rip-off ticketing is abolished for travellers. The Metro characterises Labour's election pledge to eliminate rail franchises as the end of the queue for failing train firms. According to the article, the plan calls for each current franchise to be taken over by a Great British Railways body when its contract expires. According to the Daily Mirror, Labour's pledge to nationalise rail, in 5 years, during the election is the largest revamp of the train sector in a decade. It includes a statement from Louise Haigh, the Shadow Secretary for Transport, stating, "We'll deliver route and branch reforms." The Guardian takes the lead on Labour's commitment to nationalise the train system, stating that the proposed changes would be among the party's first major acts, should it come to power. The plan was lauded by Labour insiders as the moment when the party would begin to champion its more radical proposals, ahead of the general election, which is anticipated to take place later this year, according to the paper. The Daily Mail reports that a teenage girl was detained on suspicion of attempting murder following the injuries caused by a stabbing at a Carmarthenshire school that left 3 people injured. A picture of military horses galloping about Central after being startled by sounds from a construction site is also included in the article. The incident that occurred at the Welsh school is described as "horror in the playground" by the Daily Express. The stunning picture of horses, on the rampage, across central London is also featured in the article. Although Keir Starmer, the leader of Labour, is the subject of the Daily Telegraph's title, it is about his refusal to match PM's defence budget. According to the report, Rishi Sunak promised on Tuesday that 2.5% of GDP would be allocated to defence by 2030, but shadow ministers refused to make the same commitment. Labour's stance, as stated in the paper, is that it would increase defence spending to 2.5%, when resources allow, without providing a timeframe. According to a research, England has the worst in the world rate of underage drinking, The Times. According to the article, England had the highest rate of childhood alcohol consumption out of 44 countries examined, with a third of 11-year-olds and half of 13-year-olds reporting having consumed alcohol. It also claims that kids from affluent families are the most inclined to drink, mirroring their parents' behavior. According to the Financial Times, the EU launched a dawn raid on the headquarters of a Chinese provider of security gear. According to the FT, anti-foreign subsidy authorities were used in the action at offices in Rotterdam and Warsaw. According to the report, several Western nations have outlawed Nuctex products due to national security concerns. According to The Sun, Princess Beatrice's ex-boyfriend passed away from a suspected drug overdose. According to the publication, Paolo Liuzzo was discovered dead in a Miami hotel room. The Daily Star warns that another cheery food boffin is transforming us into zombies, which is bad news for those who enjoy greasy fry-ups. More precisely, the tabloid claims that a country full of insomniacs is being caused by highly processed food. On the brighter side, though, this food tastes really, really good. That way, it's an obvious decision. The Guardian leads the Daily Mirror, Metro, and in reporting on the party's ambitions to nationalise the rail network, with the title, "Labour pledges to nationalise rail network within 5 years." The announcement, according to Labour officials who spoke with the Guardian, signals the start of more extreme plans leading up to the general election. The Mirror states that the action can't come soon enough, because it asserts that owners and shareholders have already received funds that should have been used to upgrade services. However, the rail sector has criticised the plans, arguing that they will ultimately result in higher costs for taxpayers. Ministers and defence sources charge that Labour is failing to keep Britain safe in a dangerous world, by refusing to match the government's plan to spend 2.5% of GDP on defence by 2030. This is the headline article for the Daily Telegraph. Labour claims that when economic conditions permit, it is dedicated to achieving the goal. However, The Sun claims that funding must permit it and contends that Labour wishes to preserve every dollar for what it refers to as its ideological crusades, such nationalising the railways. According to the editorial in The Guardian, Rishi Sunak's pledge to provide the department with an additional £75 billion is deceptive as it presumes that defence spending will be stopped in terms of money, a situation that no one is suggesting. The Daily Mail and the Daily Express are running stories on the stabbing at a Carmarthenshire school with the banner, "Horror in the Playground." According to the Mail, one of the teachers is fortunate to still be alive. The Times is the first to report on the global study indicating that more English children than any other country, 33% of 11-year-olds and half of 13-year-olds, have tried alcohol. According to the study, children from wealthy families in England are more likely to have consumed alcohol, and teenage girls are more likely than boys to smoke, vape, and get drunk. According to the Scottish edition of the Times, 25% of Scottish lads have smoked cannabis. According to the survey, Canadian girls are the only group that uses drugs more frequently. Additionally, some of the front pages include arresting images of the runaway cavalry horses galloping through London's streets. The headline of the Telegraph has the words, "Here comes the cavalry," and the chaos, above an image of two horses, one of which is white and has blood on it. The editorial in the paper points out that, curiously, the Big Ben clock struck the incorrect hour as the horses were running. The piece concludes with the statement, "We hope someone has carefully checked on the ravens at the tower. There is a legend that states the kingdom will fall if the birds that live there depart the Tower of London."